There has been this kind of division in 20th century philosophy that is often referred to in these terms, but it's also highly misleading in some ways to talk about such a fundamental gap. Of course, there are different ways of doing philosophy. There are very, very different philosophies of religion. Also, if you consider, for instance, the mainstream analytic discussion of theism, for instance, versus some kind of postmodern, post-ontological, Heideggerian, post-structuralist, whatever, kind of way of doing philosophy of religion. Those are so different that often one feels that they don't really talk about the same thing, or that they don't really talk to each other. And on the one hand, that's a shame in the sense that it's that philosophy of religion could be expected to deal with such important human matters that we should really try to talk to each other about them instead of talking past each other. But then on the other hand, I also, in a way, I sympathize with the idea that there are genuinely different ways of doing philosophy that may have different cultural contexts and so on. I don't think we should simply reduce philosophical approaches or philosophical methodologies to one single correct methodology. That's too restrictive. And now again, pragmatism, which is sort of my own favorite approach here, is something that is not easily classifiable as either analytic or continental. It's something. It's a kind of a third way, maybe, or something that can, again, here, just as in the realism discussion, offer a middle ground, or however you like to put it. It's something that is not simply analytic, but that doesn't make it non-analytic. It need not be hostile to analytic philosophy as such. It may be critical of some analytic philosophers of religion, ways of arguing about religion. It may be quite critical of, for instance, some theological realists' views, but that doesn't mean that it would be critical of analytic philosophy of religion as such, and similarly regarding continental philosophy. Of course, the whole analytic continental gap, so to speak, is misleading also in the sense that analytic philosophy was largely established on the European continent. I mean, if we go back to Vienna Circle and European philosophy generally, there was simply no such division in the early decades of the 20th century. It's a later invention, and I think we should get rid of the idea that there is such a fundamental dichotomy. We should get rid of that, but we should not get rid of the idea that there are genuinely different ways of doing philosophy.